projects. Again, today I come very unprepared. I've downloaded, looks like 7 images into Lightroom. I don't know what I'm going to edit, so let's just jump right into this and see what we got. Alright, so let's scroll through all these real quick. So you got this beautiful tree down the park. I love trees. This is down the street from my house. I was really trying to get the sunset right here. Just kind of peeking through the trees. On the back side of this house, this is a beautiful Victorian down the street. The street next to me, there's probably 25 of them, each better than the next. This is by far the most impressive as far as the big wraparound porch. Just the size, the scale. It has one of those silo things going up the side of it. Really beautiful. So this is from the other night. I think I'm going to be going with this image. I'm not 100% sure. I was doing laundry, just hanging out at the laundromat. It was raining, trying to get some pictures of lightning strikes, which is incredibly hard to do. If you've never tried it, it's so difficult to be able to take that trigger action when the strike is happening. You have to anticipate it. You have to be so prepared. And I've seen a lot of other YouTube videos where professional lightning strike photographers will go out and they'll have 3-4 cameras set up, all facing different angles, and you've got A, B, C, D, and they're all interconnected. He just fire, 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 and sometimes you get something. Here's another from that night. Another from that night. I don't know what was going on with this. You can see in the middle of this, that's the sun, that big red dot. I don't know if it was because of fires happening out west, but there are 2 or 3 mornings and nights here where it just felt so smoggy, so overcast, unnatural. And in the morning and all day and in the evening, the sun just had this crazy red glow. It was unreal. And the last photo, that same day, walking back along the river, and I caught these. At first I thought they were geese, but I don't think so. I think they're ducks, which is, I've never seen them in that flying V pattern, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Let's see. Let's try to tackle 2. I kind of like this one with the truck. And this guy. So let's jump right into that. And as I'm preparing that, this is the 4th episode. If for any reason at all you stumbled across my channel, thank you very much for watching. I have not really done any promoting of this. My main objective is to develop my skill set. Maybe as a host, maybe as an entertainer, who knows. But one, just working in Lightroom. And secondly, I'm really trying to establish a better playbook for my video editing and enhance that skill set as well. So I feel that by putting myself out there on YouTube, it's going to put me in a position where I need to improve, and I'm going to want to improve, and not just from a video editing standpoint, but also with the technology that I use. As you can see, I've got these new headphones on, trying to tackle my audio issue. I don't have the proper mic setup, and I'm recording to my computer as well as on my phone right here, or excuse me, my camera. So there's a little bit of an audio issue as far as the recording quality of both of the devices. So I'm going to try these headphones out today, see if it's something that I can make use of going forward. But I really think I need to invest in a microphone at this point. So again, let's just jump right into it. We'll go here into the develop module. And overall impression, losing some of the highlights here in the lights, losing some of the darks over here to the right of the image. And this particular night, I did not get a single lightning strike. I was too late, and it just resulted in this nice kind of purple, dark background. So I thought that was pretty cool. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to head down here. First things first. Enable profile corrections. And wow, look at the impact that had, especially in the darks. That's crazy. You can see in the histogram, it's just dragging that material, all that metadata, over to the right. It's a tiny fraction, but everything helps in recovering that data. All right, remove chromatic aberration. Let's go to the top. Throw on crop overlay. Take a look at our lines. And I'm not going to mess with that at all. And I'm going to judge that based on the truck. You can see the lights right here. That looks pretty even. I like it. Let's just see if we just fiddle with it. There we go. Just minor adjustments. Minor adjustments. Turn crop overlay off. No, I kind of like that adjustment. That was good. All right. Now for white balance, just going to change it to auto. Just see what impact that has. Because I already like the tone in this image. I think everything was captured really well. Honestly, a lot of times I just shoot an auto on my camera. It makes it easier. Unless I'm artistically trying to achieve something, I do like to fiddle with a white balance. Like using tungsten in broad daylight, I think, or for a sunset, definitely provides a unique color scale for your image. Really makes things pop. I can definitely share some images later from some sunsets that I've taken. Identical images between the proper white balance setting or just letting your camera do it on auto and using something either cooler or warmer to really bring out something dramatic, something artsy. And you can see, though, going from as shot at 4700 to auto 5250, that does change the image. I can definitely see it in the grass down here. It's warming it up a little bit. It's kind of toning down that bright green that is a little distracting. I like to just fiddle with it. Just use those presets in there for the white balance. Find what you like and then adjust it from there. So that's that 4250. As I go to that 52, I like what's happening in the grass. It's kind of taken away, though, from the sky and that. There's a happy medium somewhere. 4750. All right. Let's go right into the exposure compensation. Wow. Look how much of that cloud came out in the sky. That's crazy. Right in there. That's a full stop over. Oops. Let's tone that back down. That's 0.7 of a stop over. And this is going to be interesting because it's dark. So how these highlights, I think they're going to be impacted more. Crank them down. And I think everything in moderation is important, but with highlights and whites, I tend to just crank those bad boys down. I think it, generally how my exposure settings are, it saves the photo. Not that it necessarily saves it, I think that implies that the photo's bad, but I think I use the light meter pretty much at all times to determine my exposure. When I come into Lightroom, I generally find it's within half of a full stop either way. So I think that's pretty good. That's a reasonable margin for error. Just tone down those whites. And then I think we're going to see the magic happen in the sky. We're going to bump up the shadows just a little bit. Bump up the blacks just a little bit. Oh yeah, see how that opened that up? Just those minor adjustments, we scan this image. Looks like the only loss of data still from those blacks right here in this bush. That actually might be something. I can't tell. Alright, so let's just let that chill there. Again, I always add a little texture and clarity, but I think texture is the one that really starts that kind of downfall to very synthetic imagery and heavy post-processing. So it really brings out, I see a lot, like the asphalt right here. You can really see a lot of the imperfections in it, the lines, the cracks. But it kind of, to me, when you bump it up too much later on down the road, it's going to look cartoony. Same with clarity. I like to bump it to just slightly. When I say slightly, it's 25% almost on each. But you can see again up here all the metadata and the histogram. We were really just kind of working in the blacks and shadows before, and barely having data in the shadows. Most everything was kind of congregated in this far left-hand side, and making good progress, kind of moving it over, just recovering that data. All right, go into the tone curve. Again, I do everything. Start with the parametric curve. I just work left to right for the entire toolkit. Start at the top, work at the bottom, following my CCF method that I'm working on, and I think it allows me to create an image just following a basic rulebook and guidelines. You end up having a little bit more consistency. Just follow that basic S-curve model. Wow, that was dramatic. That made a pretty big difference. Sometimes I don't want to lose, like this might be a little bit of a reverse curve. Let's see. So I really want to keep the sky and this quadrant popping. Go into the reds. The greens. Oh, see, that was kind of trippy. How that impacted the asphalt. Totally changed the tone. Then right into the blue. Oh, I don't like that. And one thing just to point out with the tone curve, it's not going to change the image as it shows the colors, but you can see what it's trying to tell you. These are going to be more warm tones. These are going to be more cool tones. That's how it's going to impact the image. You can see it's doing the same in green. Same with red. Then this guy right here, the white, I don't think it will show this to you. That's the point curve. That's going to be more relative to exposure compensations. The blacks, the whites, the shadows, the highlights. So I like that. That's looking pretty good. Let's go into Y here. That's what we started with here on the left. See on the right, we've got all this data back. It's great. That sky is still kind of dark and spooky. Still got a lot of that purple in there. You can see the truck a lot better. You can see in the headlights, the grill, the front end. And I don't know what this blue dot is. I think that is something back there. So this is Home Depot right here. And there's a dry cleaner somewhere over here. That's definitely not the dry cleaner, but that could be I don't know. I don't recall any lights there. Who the hell knows? Alright. So we're going to pass the HSL for a little bit, go into color grading, midtones. Again, I like to crank it all the way, just see what it does at the extremes, and then we're going to reverse engineer it. Like I like the plus side, how that's breaking out the image. I like this ribbon in the sky. That's a lot brighter than the rest of these purples. Let's see what we do with bump the shadows. If we come, that's negative 20. You can see that we're starting to lose data right there. So that's probably, damn it. I always do that. The highlights at this point, so they're pretty much toned down everywhere. Let's see what happens there. I really like this image so far. It's spooky, it's kind of eerie, but it throws you off too because there's light in it. You can see this red barn and the truck and the green grass. It's like the night is fighting a battle with the daytime, the light. Although this was not anywhere near daytime. This was like 9:45 at night. Alright. So let's just go into this calibration tool. Excuse me, the most popular as far as disrespected tools. So let's take this blue. I always start there. Crank it up. Oh, look at that. See how that just changes the image? Calibrating that blue, really isolating. Oh, see, now that's spooky. That's real spooky. To me, the interesting thing with this is that if it was just cloudy that night and there was no lightning lighting up the sky, giving it that purple, I think the sky would probably look like that. This is tough because everywhere on this, I really like it. Like, this is where, for me, it can get out of whack real easy. Let's see if we can do something with that grass a little. So we bring it up, we're kind of getting that purple vibrance back. We also picked up some blue over here on the right. It's losing some data from the darks. If we crank it all the way down, it's the same result, but you can see in the grass how that changes, and obviously the sky. I'm going to bump that up just a little. And red, look at that. See the natural reds in here. See, look at how that barn is impacted. We're cranked up to 100. Crank it down to negative 100. Look at that impact that has. This entire line along here. This whole background, this tree, this light. Crank that up just a little. Go back into Y. Let's take a look at our before and after. I like this. It's spooky. What was that book when we were kids? Like scary stories to tell in the dark? To me, this looks like that could be in that. The Laundromat Bandit. Actually, I'm kind of curious. No, I'll do that later. See, let's throw it into black and white to see what happens. Alright, so now we're going to go up to the HSL tab. Adjust it just a little. Let's get these screens, see if we can. Tone that down just a little. There we go. So I hit hue, saturation, and luminance on that. Definitely toned it down. All right. And I'm going to hit the reds a little too. See how that's going to impact. Again, that back row here, up through the tree, definitely has a more visible impact there. Just a little. I'm kind of, and see how that's making all that pop. I'm kind of anal. I can't work one tab at a time. I can't hit blue, red, green, purple in the luminance tab and then move to another. I'm going to hit every color one at a time. And then if it does something I don't like, sometimes you can find out, 10 steps later, you just don't like what the image looks like. That happens to me all the time, and sometimes I just start over. It's like you wasted 15 minutes to edit. And, oh yeah, see, look at that. That's the sky, that's the purple. You'll waste 15 minutes editing just to go back and start over. It's a brutal life. Totally different image. I like this image. And let's see what happens when we pop it in to this guy. Wow, that had a good impact. So you can see that's the same tree I moved over a couple feet and the truck's gone. This will probably need a little bit of work. There's more light in it. You can see, some of the building. But I like that. I'm having fun. Let's do another. Actually, now let's take our station break. Insert cool commercial music. All right, we're back to this double feature. Now, this I honestly have no idea what the hell I'm going to do with. There's nothing really spectacular about this image when I went out for it. Basically on the other side of this fence here, down past these lights, probably right here actually, there's some stairs to go down to the field and then across. It's where the river is. And there's a nice little river walk that goes down there, and I have a secret spot where when the sun sets, so the background, you've got one range kind of coming like this, another overlapping, and then the river just goes straight into it, and the sun sets perfectly there. So you don't see that in this image, but that's right about this area here. So when you get down there on a good day, outstanding sunset. By the time I got there for this image, it was gone. Couldn't see it. Very elusive. So I'm not sure again what's going on with this. If this is, something from, smoke from a fire, or if it was all the smog from New York City rolled in. Doubtful. I've never seen that here. So let's just see what we can do. Pop in. Did some enabling. Wow, look at what that did to the histogram. That's my favorite tool. I think it just from a tech nerd standpoint, because it tells you all the lens information. It's pretty rad. As shot, let's try auto. Now for this, I just want this red to pop. This is actually pretty accurate. This is what it looked like outside to the human eye. Fluorescent. See, that's where in that previous image, experimenting, using a fluorescent setting to capture a sunset. It's pretty interesting. I'm going to leave this as shot. Let's go right into exposure. I just don't know if this is... this is going to be anything good. Toning it down, that's 0.7 stops under 0.69. Interesting. It was just difficult to get a good vantage point of this with anything worthwhile in the image. Like, this is really busy. It's just nice that that sun is framed. I don't think I'm going to be able to really do too much on this. So you do a speed edit. But by darkening it up, it's really making that red stand out a bit more. But this was just crazy on the way to work the first day. Flying down the highway, come around a turn. And the expressway here kind of goes between a valley. So popping out, about to get on the interstate. And there's a little break in the hill. You see this red sun at 6:45 in the morning. It was pretty crazy. Honestly, it felt like something out of like Star Wars that you would see. A binary sun system. It was dope. It was like, where's the normal sun? Which that would be so cool. If our solar system had two suns, like, that would be awesome. I don't know if it would sustain life, but yeah, keeping it on the darker side. I think it brought that out. Let's take a look. Oh, 100%. I like the change in the sky, darkening it up. It's a little bit more gray, but I think it makes these lamps pop a little bit more. Oh, see, that's what we want. I'm going to make a small adjustment there in the calibration tab. It says plus 21 saturation on the red. See if we adjust the hue. You can see in the truck right here, look at that. So we're at plus 100. Kind of has that fluorescent-y feel to it. Crank it down. But what we're really aiming for is really that sun. How can we get the most out of that? So I'm going to come back here to HSL. Hue, look how it's changing it. It's not impacting the image too much besides that sun, but that's what we want. Test out the extremes. Luminance, right there. Play that bad boy back. Wow. That was far too easy. Just a quick edit. That was like 5 minutes maybe. And we were really able to make some changes in that image. This histogram is totally whack. You can see the clipping tools right here. They're not highlighted. We've recovered a lot of data loss from those shadows right here. You can see in the lights. See those tiny little red streaks. Gone here. So that was just a quick edit of that. I wanted to try and get something from that, and we got a little something. So that will basically wrap it up. I want to thank you again if this is something that you've watched in the past, or if you're watching this now. I'm going to really try to do my thing, promote it a little bit more on my Instagram page, work on adding some of the more common YouTube gimmicks, linking other videos, that type of thing, and really just try and enhance my presentation as far as this being on YouTube. And I would love to hear questions, comments, feedback, concerns. If you're watching this, let me know what you think. Leave some comments in the description. I'm supposed to tell you to hit the subscribe button. I will not tell you to hit the notification bell, even though I only post once a week. Sometimes when it's slow, once every 2 weeks. That gets annoying, dude. So if you like this, you just want to keep up, subscribe. Let me know. Let me pay attention to some analytics. Tell me what you think. I do want to thank you again for your time. You have a great day. I am out.